The 10 most intriguing mysteries of the Bible. First up, we have the 24 elders. The Bible introduces us to a vast array of celestial beings that have fascinated countless individuals over the years. But who exactly are these 24 elders? Somewhere beyond our everyday reality, there's an awe-inspiring throne room in heaven, bathed in divine brilliance and authority. This place isn't just remarkable, it's the domain of the most supreme entity in the cosmos. The account of John's journey to Patmos, followed by his visionary experiences, including his encounter with the 24 elders, ranks among the Bible's most captivating narratives. Within the realm of the supernatural, one group particularly stands out: 24 elders, garbed in white, their heads adorned with golden crowns, seated on thrones encircling the central throne. Who are these individuals, and what purpose do they serve? During his revelation, John found himself transported to God's throne room. There, he witnessed the Almighty seated on a throne, with an appearance akin to precious gems. Surrounding this throne were 24 additional thrones, occupied by the 24 elders. These elders were robed in white and crowned with gold. In this video, we'll delve into the most enigmatic figures mentioned in the Bible. So, make sure to subscribe, hit the like button, and stay tuned till the end. The elders, together with the 4 living creatures near the throne, would bow down before God, offering their crowns and proclaiming his worthiness to receive all glory, honor, and power, for he created everything according to his will, as stated in Revelation 4 verse 1. The exact identities of the 24 elders remain unspecified in the book of Revelation. However, they are likely representatives of the faithful, rather than angelic beings. This assumption is reinforced by their seated position on thrones, symbolizing their co-reign with Christ, a privilege often associated with the faithful rather than angels. The term elder, in this context, typically refers to individuals of a certain maturity who are capable of leadership, a description not applicable to ageless angels. Furthermore, while angels can appear in white, this color more commonly symbolizes the righteousness bestowed upon believers through salvation. The elders' golden crowns signify their non-angelic nature, as angels are never depicted with crowns. The worship led by the cherubim inspires the 24 elders, demonstrating their role as representatives of God's people, adorned with victory crowns and residing in the heavenly realm prepared by their Savior. Next, we explore the wheels mentioned in the Old Testament. Angels appear 108 times in the book of Exodus alone, and Moses encountered these celestial beings during the Israelites' desert sojourn. But what exactly are these wheels? The term refers to the wheels associated with God's throne, particularly highlighted in Ezekiel's vision. In a moment of divine revelation, God allowed Ezekiel a glimpse into the heavens. Ezekiel's attempt to describe his vision is among the Old Testament's most complex passages, filled with similes and comparisons to convey the indescribable. Before Ezekiel saw the wheels, he witnessed 4 illuminated beings, later identified as cherubim, amidst a vision of a formidable, fiery cloud approaching from the north. After witnessing the cherubim, Ezekiel's attention was drawn to something extraordinary: the wheels. These weren't ordinary wheels but rather resembled the workings of a gyroscope, capable of moving in any direction without the need to pivot or turn. This was Ezekiel's attempt to convey something beyond human comprehension, a vision of divine mobility and presence. As Ezekiel observed, each of the 4 living creatures was accompanied by a wheel on the ground. These wheels sparkled like topaz, each crafted with incredible precision to appear as a wheel within a wheel. Their movement was unrestricted, capable of gliding effortlessly in any direction without needing to rotate. The rims of these wheels were imposing, adorned with eyes all around, symbolizing a vigilance that mirrored the omniscience of God. The synchronization between the living creatures and the wheels was profound. Wherever the creatures intended to go, the wheels moved in unison, as if propelled by the same divine spirit. This unity suggested that the spirit of the living creatures was inherent within the wheels, allowing them to move, stop, and rise together. Ezekiel emphasized the seamless connection between the wheels and the cherubim, driven by the Spirit of God that permeated the entire scene. This vision not only revealed the mobility and omniscience of God but also introduced Ezekiel to a realm where divine surveillance and omnipresence were palpable. The multitude of eyes on the wheels symbolized God's all-encompassing awareness, capable of perceiving all things. Ezekiel's initial vision, marking the beginning of his prophetic journey, was a powerful encounter with angelic beings that underscored his role as God's messenger to the exiled Hebrews. This vision, replete with profound knowledge and intelligence, set the stage for Ezekiel's mission. The narrative then transitions to the Behemoth, a formidable creature mentioned in the book of Job. This account starts with Job, a righteous man from Uz, who lived a life of moral integrity and deep faith in God. Despite God's praise of Job's steadfastness, Satan challenges his righteousness, claiming it is solely due to God's blessings. Allowed by God to test Job, Satan strips him of his wealth, family, and health, yet Job remains unwavering in his faith. This ordeal leads to profound reflections on the nature of suffering, righteousness, and divine justice. Job's struggle to understand the complexities of God's ways and the human capacity to satisfy divine justice highlights the profound themes of faith, perseverance, and the inscrutable nature of God's plans. As Job grappled with his sufferings, his faith was profoundly tested, leading to moments of resentment, anxiety, and fear. He questioned the apparent injustice of the divine, perplexed by the prosperity of the wicked while righteous individuals like himself endured hardship. Job yearned for a direct confrontation with God to voice his grievances, yet found himself grappling with the elusive nature of divine wisdom. Despite his turmoil, Job remained committed to seeking wisdom through reverence for God and shunning evil. In a pivotal moment, God chose to engage with Job, responding to his prayers amidst a tempestuous storm. The dialogue between God and Job is marked by a certain levity, as God challenges Job's understanding of the universe. Through a series of rhetorical questions, God underscores his role as the creator and sustainer of all things, questioning Job's ability to comprehend or match such divine workmanship. This exchange serves to highlight the vast gulf between human and divine perspectives, urging Job to recognize the presumption in demanding explanations from God. Faced with the enormity of God's questions, Job acknowledges his insignificance, opting for silence in humility. God's discourse then shifts to a reflection on his creations, employing a lighter tone yet again. The focus turns to the Behemoth, a creature presented as a symbol of God's incomprehensible power and creativity. The Behemoth's description emphasizes its immense strength and formidable nature, challenging Job to consider his place in relation to such a mighty being. This discourse not only showcases the mystery and marvel of creation but also serves to put human concerns into perspective. The identity of the Behemoth has been a subject of much debate among scholars, with some suggesting it could be a reference to known animals like the hippopotamus or elephant, while others speculate about its mythological or prehistoric origins. Regardless of its true nature, the Behemoth's portrayal in the Book of Job is intended to evoke awe and humility, reminding humanity of its limited understanding and power in the face of the divine. Similarly, the Leviathan is presented as a formidable sea creature, further emphasizing the themes of God's unmatchable power and the futility of human pride. Described with vivid imagery, the Leviathan symbolizes the untamable and fearsome aspects of creation that surpass human control or understanding. The narrative also touches upon the cherubim, celestial beings that embody the concept of divine guardianship and authority. Introduced early in the biblical text, the cherubim signify the close relationship between the divine and the created order, serving as a reminder of God's omnipresence and sovereignty. Through these discussions of the Behemoth, Leviathan, and cherubim, the Book of Job offers profound insights into the nature of suffering, divine justice, and the human condition. It encourages a posture of humility and trust in the face of life's mysteries and challenges, affirming the importance of faith in navigating the complexities of existence. Cherubim. In the aftermath of Adam and Eve's transgression in the Garden of Eden, where they defied God's command by consuming the fruit from the tree of knowledge of good and evil, their potential access to the tree of life, which could grant them eternal life, became a profound concern. To prevent their return and ensure the sanctity of this sacred space, God placed cherubim and a flaming, ever-turning sword to the east of the Garden of Eden. This act was a clear declaration of humanity's estrangement from divine grace due to sin, as detailed in Genesis 3 verse 24. The cherubim, thus, served a dual purpose. They highlighted the gravity of human sin and safeguarded the divine presence from the impurities of the fallen world. The barrier they represented was a constant reminder to Adam, and by extension, all of humanity, of the severed relationship with God due to disobedience. This theme recurs within the sacred rituals of Israel, where the high priest, despite being allowed into the Holy of Holies annually, was confronted by the imagery of the cherubim on the mercy seat, evoking a profound sense of unworthiness due to sin. The cherubim, as depicted in biblical accounts, are not merely symbolic, they are depicted as powerful and sentient entities. Within the architecture of the tabernacle and the Ark of the Covenant, cherubim were intricately woven into the design by divine instruction, emphasizing their significance in the spiritual and liturgical life of Israel. Ezekiel's vision in chapter 10 further expands on their depiction, showing them as beings with wings and hands, enveloped by wheels within wheels, filled with eyes, symbolizing their vigilance and mobility in the divine realm. Despite their formidable presence and role as guardians of the divine holiness, cherubim also embody the promise of access to God's presence through atonement and grace. They stand as a testament to the possibility of reconciliation with God, achieved through the sacrificial work of Christ, which tore the veil of the temple, symbolizing the removal of the barrier between God and humanity. Turning to the figure of Lucifer, Isaiah 14 introduces us to this being, whose name signifies the morning star or light bringer. Despite the magnificent connotations of his name in various languages, Lucifer's story is one of downfall from a position of splendor due to pride and rebellion against God. Among the most enigmatic characters in the Bible is Melchizedek, who stands out for his mysterious origins and significant role in the narrative of Abraham. Melchizedek's name, meaning King of Righteousness, and his title as the King of Salem, meaning peace, position him as a figure of justice and harmony. His interaction with Abraham, where he presents bread and wine and blesses him in the name of the Most High God, prefigures the priesthood and sacrificial offerings that would come to define the worship of God. Melchizedek's priesthood, as discussed in Hebrews, is portrayed as superior and eternal, transcending the temporal and hereditary nature of the Levitical priesthood. This eternal priesthood is attributed to Christ in the New Testament, signifying a new covenant between God and humanity that supersedes the old, based on the principles of righteousness and peace that Melchizedek embodied. Through these narratives, the Bible weaves a complex tapestry of themes including sin and redemption, divine justice and mercy, and the eternal covenant between God and humanity, exemplified by the figures of the cherubim, Lucifer, and Melchizedek. These stories serve to remind believers of the profound mysteries of faith and the continuous call towards reconciliation with the divine. During the momentous encounter between Abraham and Melchizedek, Hebrews 7 verses 1-4 sheds light on the significance of Melchizedek's character. He is introduced as the King of Salem and the priest of the Most High God, who met and blessed Abraham as he returned from defeating kings. In a gesture of respect and acknowledgement of Melchizedek's higher authority, Abraham presented him with a tithe of all the spoils from battle. This act signifies Abraham's recognition of Melchizedek's superior spiritual stature, despite Abraham's own eminent status as the patriarch of God's chosen people. Melchizedek's description is strikingly unique in the scriptures. He is depicted as being without father, mother, genealogy, beginning of days, or end of life, aligning him with the Son of God in his eternal priesthood. This portrayal emphasizes Melchizedek's extraordinary nature and his role as a foreshadowing of Christ, the ultimate high priest who offers eternal peace and righteousness. The narrative then transitions to the concept of the angel of death, particularly highlighted in the Exodus account of the last plague upon Egypt. This plague led to the death of all firstborns in Egyptian households not marked by the lamb's blood, a decisive event that compelled Pharaoh to release the Israelites from bondage. The angel of death is a term often used to describe the divine force executing this judgment, though the scriptures do not explicitly name a specific angel in this role. Instead, the term may refer more broadly to a celestial agent or agents of God's judgment. This biblical account emphasizes the stark contrast between divine protection and judgment, illustrating the power of faith and obedience to God's commands. The Israelites' adherence to God's directive to mark their doorposts with the blood of the Lamb spared them from the angel's wrath, highlighting the redemptive power of faith and foreshadowing the ultimate redemption through Christ's sacrifice. Lastly, the seraphim are introduced as celestial beings of remarkable distinction, described by Isaiah as six-winged angels that perpetually worship God and play a role in the purification of the prophet before his ministry. Their presence underscores the holiness of God and the reverence with which the divine is to be approached. Through these narratives, the Bible intricately weaves together themes of divine authority, judgment, redemption, and worship, presenting a multifaceted view of the interaction between the human and divine realms. These stories serve to deepen the understanding of God's nature, the importance of faithfulness, and the concept of atonement, central to the Christian faith. The seraphim, as depicted in Isaiah's vision, stand out as celestial beings of remarkable distinction, enveloped in an aura of divine reverence and worship. These beings, described with human-like features such as faces, hands, and voices, serve as a vivid representation of the angelic reverence for God. With 6 wings, they cover themselves in humility and worship, highlighting their role as divine attendants who are both awestruck and devoted to their Creator. The term seraphim itself, originating from the Hebrew verb seraph, implies a connection with fire, suggesting their appearance as luminous or burning entities. This fiery aspect may symbolize their role in purification and sanctification, aligning with their actions in Isaiah's vision, where one seraph cleanses the prophet's lips with a live coal, signifying the removal of iniquity and the atonement of sin. The seraphim's declaration that the whole earth is full of His glory underscores the omnipresence and incomprehensible magnificence of God's glory. This statement, coming from beings that dwell in God's immediate presence, emphasizes the pervasive nature of divine glory, transcending the heavenly realm and permeating the entire creation. The reverence displayed by the seraphim in God's presence serves as a profound reminder of the holiness and majesty of the divine. Their awe-filled worship challenges us to approach God with a deep sense of humility and recognition of our own unworthiness. The biblical portrayal of these celestial beings invites us to reflect on our attitude towards the divine, encouraging a posture of reverence and worship that acknowledges God's supreme holiness. Transitioning to the topic of demons, the biblical narrative presents them as personal entities with the capacity for interaction and communication. Their interactions with Christ and the use of personal pronouns suggest a level of individuality and self-awareness. Demonic possession, as depicted in the scriptures, involves these spirits exerting control over a human host, often manifesting their own characteristics through the individual's actions and behavior. The allure of occult practices, despite the dangers they pose, often lies in the perceived effectiveness of the supernatural forces at play. However, it is crucial to recognize that these forces are not impersonal energies but malevolent spirits seeking to deceive and ensnare. Engaging with such practices not only opens individuals to spiritual deception but also to potential harm and influence from these malevolent beings. The biblical accounts of seraphim and demons provide contrasting perspectives on the spiritual realm, illustrating the diversity of beings that exist beyond our physical reality. While the seraphim embody the pinnacle of divine worship and purity, demons represent the corruption and malevolence that stand in opposition to God's goodness. These narratives offer valuable insights into the complexities of the spiritual domain and the importance of discerning our interactions with the unseen world. Demons, as understood from biblical teachings, seek to inhabit bodies as a means to further their malevolent agenda, similar to how a vandal uses a spray can to deface property. The human body, in their view, becomes a tool to assault what they despise most, the image of God in mankind. By distorting and defiling this divine likeness, demons aim to degrade what is sacred, rendering the individual repulsive. For Christians, although protected by the redemptive work of Christ, the threat of demonic influence persists, albeit in a more subdued manner. Demons endeavor to tarnish the image of God within believers, primarily through deception and fostering disbelief. The authority of Jesus, demonstrated through His victory on the cross, has curtailed the power of these demonic entities over those who are in Christ. The personal nature of demons is evident in the New Testament, where Jesus Himself engages in direct communication with them. In one notable instance, Jesus inquires about the name of the demons possessing a man, revealing that the individual was afflicted by multiple demons, referred to collectively as legion. This interaction underscores the intelligence and communicative ability of demonic spirits, traits that signify their personal essence. Demons possess a distinct will and intelligence, as shown by their plea to Jesus to spare them from being cast into the abyss, a realm described in the Book of Revelation as a place of confinement for certain demonic beings. Their awareness of Jesus' divine authority and their subsequent submission to His command further illustrate their cognitive capabilities. As spiritual beings, demons exist without a physical form, belonging to an unseen realm. Their influence is manifested through the disruption and affliction they cause in the physical world. The scriptures also allude to varying degrees of wickedness among these spirits, suggesting a hierarchy or range of malevolence within their ranks. Lucifer, mentioned in Isaiah 14, stands out as a pivotal figure in the spiritual hierarchy, originally one of God's chief angels. His fall from grace was precipitated by pride, a sin that led to his rebellion against God and subsequent banishment from heaven. This act of hubris not only marked the inception of sin but also underscored pride as a profoundly destructive force. Lucifer's transformation into Satan was complete when his pride, fueled by his own beauty and splendor, drove him to challenge the sovereignty of God. His ongoing rebellion and efforts to undermine divine authority across both heavenly and earthly realms highlight the enduring conflict between the forces of good and evil. This narrative arc from the seraphim's pure worship to Lucifer's ultimate fall encapsulates the profound spiritual dynamics at play, reminding believers of the ongoing spiritual warfare and the necessity of humility, vigilance, and reliance on God's power for protection and guidance. It's profoundly sobering to realize that individuals, even those called and equipped by God, can still fall into the same destructive trap of pride that ensnared Lucifer. Isaiah 14 verses 12 to 15 delves into the heart of Lucifer's rebellion, revealing a desire to ascend to the same level as God, fueled by his own perceived splendor, intelligence, and majesty. This hubris not only led to Lucifer's downfall but also seduced a significant portion of the angelic host into rebellion. Lucifer, believed to have been the orchestrator of worship in heaven and a master of music, wielded his talents to enchant and lead astray. His responsibilities included overseeing the holy services and ensuring the glory of God's presence was celebrated appropriately. Yet, in a tragic twist, his pride and aspiration for supremacy led to his banishment from God's presence, along with the angels he deceived. This narrative serves as a stark reminder of the dangers of pride and the catastrophic consequences of attempting to usurp God's authority. Satan's subsequent vendetta against humanity is driven by a desire to mar the image of God within us, as humans represent God's likeness to the rest of creation. Satan's tactics involve a relentless effort to defile and degrade this divine image, targeting both our physical embodiment and our moral and spiritual integrity. In response to this relentless assault, God's intervention through Jesus Christ stands as the ultimate act of redemption and restoration. Christ embodies the perfect image of God and offers humanity the path to salvation and transformation into his likeness. This sanctifying process is ongoing, shaped by our submission to the Holy Spirit and adherence to Christ's teachings, enabling us to reflect God's image more fully in a world that yearns for his truth and light. The struggle between good and evil, between God's kingdom and Satan's schemes, underscores the importance of steadfast faith and vigilance against temptation. In Christ, we are assured of victory over sin and the promise of eternal life, highlighting the power of redemption and the hope of complete restoration to the image of God. This exploration invites us to reflect on the profound implications of our spiritual journey and the constant need to guard against pride and self-exaltation. As we engage in this ongoing battle, let us draw strength from the knowledge that in Christ, we have the assurance of victory and the promise of a future filled with God's glory. I encourage you to share your thoughts and reflections in the comments, and if you found this discussion enlightening, please consider subscribing and engaging with more content to deepen our collective understanding of these vital spiritual truths. Thank you for joining in this exploration, and may your path be illuminated by God's enduring light. If you're captivated by the mysteries and profound narratives we've explored together, there's more for you to discover. Dive even deeper into the spiritual journey by watching our next video, Unraveling the Bible's Complete Story in a Way Unseen Before, where we continue to peel back the layers of biblical stories, offering unique insights and perspectives that will enrich your understanding of the sacred text. Don't forget to hit the like button if you found value in our discussion today, and subscribe to Biblical Gaze to stay updated with our latest content. Your engagement helps us reach more like-minded individuals eager to explore the depths of the Bible's wisdom and teachings. Join us on this enlightening journey, share your thoughts in the comments, and let's continue to illuminate our paths with the enduring light of biblical truth. Thank you for your support, and see you in the next video.